All right, let's jump right into a real-world tech detective story. We're going to solve a case about something that can drive you absolutely crazy in your own home: radio frequency interference, or RFI. It's this invisible gremlin that makes our gadgets act possessed, and today we're cracking one of the most classic cases you'll ever see. Just so you know, this explainer is part 15 of a 20-part tutorial called Radio Frequency Interference Beyond Wi-Fi, a consumer guide to common disruptions in frequencies by RFI detectives, a part of the Virtualization Options LLC family. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get to it. You know the feeling, right? You're pointing a remote, mashing that button, and absolutely nothing happens. It is one of the most infuriating little things in modern life. But what if the remote isn't the problem? What if something else is secretly hijacking the signal? So our story kicks off with a homeowner whose garage door opener, a simple everyday convenience, suddenly turns into this source of constant frustration. The wireless remote, which worked perfectly for years, started getting, well, flaky, almost like there was a ghost in the machine. Now, this didn't just happen overnight. It was a slow burn. First, the homeowner had to get closer and closer to the garage for the remote to work. Then it just started failing randomly. But here's the real clue, the head scratcher. Putting in fresh batteries did absolutely nothing. And that's when you know the problem isn't the remote itself. So, with the obvious fix totally ruled out, it was time to put on the detective hat. See, solving an RFI mystery is all about gathering clues, looking for patterns, and finding the invisible culprit that's messing things up. And check this out. These are the clues that broke the case wide open. First, the problem was way worse in the evenings. Second, the button on the wall inside the garage, it worked perfectly every single time. That tells us the opener itself is fine. The problem is with the wireless signal. But the real smoking gun? The trouble started right after a new gadget was plugged in somewhere in the house. Okay, let's pause right there for a second. A new device gets installed, and suddenly the garage door remote goes haywire. I mean, that timing is just a little too perfect to be a coincidence, don't you think? So what do you figure the new device was? Well, the prime suspect, and it was quickly confirmed, was a brand new baby monitor. It was installed in a bedroom right next to the garage. How crazy is that? A device meant to keep a baby safe was unintentionally waging war on the garage door opener. But this just led to another puzzle. Here's the thing that's a little tricky. The garage door remote operates at 315 megahertz. The baby monitor, it was way up at 390 megahertz. They're not even on the same channel, not even close. So how in the world could one possibly be interfering with the other? This is where the physics gets pretty cool. Think about it like this. Some electronic devices don't just transmit on their main frequency. They can create these little ghost signals on other frequencies, which are called harmonics. And when the source of those ghost signals, our baby monitor, is super close to a receiver, it can basically just shout louder than the signal the receiver is trying to hear. So now you gotta prove the theory, right? The homeowner used the single most powerful yet simplest tool you have for this kind of thing, the on/off test. They unplugged the baby monitor, and poof! The garage remote worked flawlessly. They plugged the monitor back in, and the problem came right back. Case closed. That's our culprit. With the bad guy identified, it was time to fix it for good. And a really solid fix for RFI usually means you have to attack it from a couple of different angles. You can't just do one thing and hope for the best. So here's the three-part plan. First, they went after the source. They snapped some ferrite beads onto the baby monitor's power cord to stop the interference from traveling down the wires. Second, they created some space by simply moving the monitor further away from the garage. And third, they protected the victim by putting ferrite beads on the garage opener's control cable, basically giving it a shield. And get this, it really shows how simple fixes can be so powerful. Just moving that monitor about 15 feet to the other side of the bedroom was a huge part of the solution. Sometimes you don't need some complex engineering fix. You just need a little bit of distance. So what's the big takeaway here for all of us? I mean, this isn't just a story about a garage door. It's really a blueprint for how you can solve all kinds of these invisible tech problems in your own house. So here's your personal toolkit. First, just pay attention. Look for patterns and always ask yourself, what's new? Second, use that dead simple on-off test to prove who the culprit is. Third, try a multi-layered attack. Move things apart, maybe add some simple filters. And last, once you think it's fixed, just keep an eye on it for a while to make sure the fix really stuck. If there is one thing you remember from all of this, let it be this quote. Correlation between symptom onset and environmental changes often identifies interference sources. Basically, it just means that when something suddenly starts acting up, it's almost always because something new is introduced nearby. Find the change and you've found your problem. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? This garage door mystery got solved, but it really makes you wonder, what other gadgets in our homes are in a silent, invisible war for the airwaves? What invisible signals could be interfering in your home right now?